issue of retirement age as well has come to light. Should the private sector follow the government's lead in setting a minimum retirement age for workers?
Basically, of course, as far as retirement age is concerned, as an organization, MEF supported the desire, the move to actually increase the retirement age to 60 years. This is basically based on the fact that, firstly, the Malaysian society's life expectancy had gone up very, very high. And I would say that if we expect to live up to 75, 76 average, and we stop work at 55, so that from the date we stop work to the date that we are expected to leave this world is quite long, more than 20 years. And of course, if we don't get any income during that period, it may create a lot of social problem to the government, to the society, and to the elderly. Yeah? And that, I think, is a very, very critical part. And secondly, of course, we do realize that in ASEAN currently, only Malaysia have a retirement age lower than 60, so we need to move up. And I think the other critical part is that when we talk about the savings for the old age, 75% of those people who reach 55, their savings in EPF is less than 50,000. So this is where the desire is basically for us to move up to 60, so that we can actually address the issue of higher life expectancy, and also the desire to have more savings in EPF when they retire. But of course, the main issue that basically MEF is facing, and also the employers are facing, is basically whether we should implement it in 6 months' time or another 1 year time. Because honestly, MEF had requested the government to grant us something like 5 years for us to move forward. Yeah? In the sense that we are increasing the retirement age by 5 years, so we had proposed to say that why not, for the first 5 years we are given a voluntary scheme whereby employees can decide whether they wanted to go on and work up to 60 or not. And of course, the main problem faced by employees is that we know that there are some employees that are not fit to actually go beyond 55 medically. Say for example, there was this particular issue raised by a company, a manufacturer, where they say that all the employees in the company that are in production site require very good eyesight. Because the fact that they say that the product that they're producing is something like 1/4 of a rice grain, very minute, very small, and in order to do that they have to use magnifying glass and things like that. And of course, once the employee reach 50 or 55, then their eyesight may not be very good and may not be suitable to work in that kind of environment. So we say that in that kind of environment, perhaps employees should be allowed to retire early, and the company also should be allowed to decide based on the medical reason as to whether the employee concerned should go beyond 55 or not. So these are issues that I think we had raised to the government, but somehow the government had said that no, the most that we can give you is 1st July 2013 as a general implementation date. And they say that if employees are not ready, they can apply, and possibly the government can consider another 6 months, meaning up to 1st January 2014. Say for example, in the airline industry, the air stewardess currently retire at 40, 45, depending on the situation. Yeah, and of course, that's one of the reasons why actually our airlines are doing quite good in the world market, and also setting the standard to the world. Yeah? So that I think we need to really consider based on the business needs of the company.
True. So what do you think should be an ideal retirement age for private sector workers?
No, I would say that going to 60 is all right with us, but we should be preparing ourselves. The environment must be right for us to move to 60, and the employee must actually be prepared physically, mentally, and at the same time the employees also must be prepared to handle the situation. And also the environment also has to be right, because currently, say for example, when we talk about trying to buy medical insurance for people who are above 55, most of the insurance companies are reluctant to do that, because they say that these people are prone to diseases, things like that. And even if they allow us to buy for someone above 55, it is the premiums are very high. It's because of loading, things like that. So another thing is that, of course, MEF is thinking that all this kind of thing need to be changed. You know, don't discriminate employers who try to actually employ people of higher age. In fact, we are even thinking about why not we encourage people who are beyond 60 to work. Even we had suggested to the government to say that, you know, people who continue to work beyond 60 should be given some kind of tax-free status. You know, after all, they have been paying tax for so long, and why should they continue to pay tax? Because when they work, they also contribute to the economic development, even if they are beyond 60. And they also had actually assisted the society, because otherwise it would become a liability to the society. So this kind of thing, I think the government need to really relook at the policies so that employers should also be encouraged to employ people who are beyond 60, for example, by giving double tax deduction on wages. Employees should be given tax-free status. So at the end of the day, we actually utilize our manpower, I think, fully. And hopefully with that also we can reduce our reliance on foreign workers.